I want to talk about the teacher shortage because, yes, there is a teacher shortage in some areas of the United States, and in other areas there's not. What you'll notice is that the teacher shortage is in most areas in high demand fields that pay very well, such as science education and math education. And the reason for that is because the actual fields that those potential teachers work in pay 10 to 20 times more in some cases, and they don't involve the stress of dealing with students or those standards. I know some people who said that they would literally rather work on a nuclear submarine than teach, and that's totally valid. Now, on top of that, you also have areas like Oklahoma, Louisiana, Mississippi, places in the southern states where it's very rural, there's less kids, and there's less schools, but there's still people there that need to be educated, but they don't pay as much because the property values are lower and things of that nature, because we fund education through our property taxes, and because of that, we have a gap in funding in schools. And then you go to places like New York, California. Yes, there's a shortage in teachers in science education, math education, and probably career and technical education, although some schools have eliminated career and technical education, meaning that the shortage problem's gone. There's really not a shortage of ELA teachers or social studies teachers up here in New York. And social studies teachers actually often, in order to get hired, have to do something else, like coach, run the musical theater department, run a club, do something else for the school to justify why they should hire that person over somebody else, especially if they're just coming out of school. And ELA teachers, it's pretty much the same thing, although most of the ELA teachers don't coach. They'll do things, they'll run the musical theater department, they'll run the drama department, they'll run some after-school club, they'll run the GSA, things of that nature, in order to get hired. And I'm currently in a program at school. I was originally intending to go to school to become a teacher, an ELA teacher. A whole bunch of stuff happened, and that's not happening, but I'm still in a master's program because I was halfway enrolled and halfway finished when things happened to get a Master's of Education in English. And with that, I am an educational master's degree in English. And I'm 12 credit hours, 18 credit hours away from completing it. I can't do math. 6 of those credit hours should be completed by the end of this semester, and the rest should be completed next semester, meaning I should be able to graduate at that time. If not, they'll just be finished over the summer. And with that, there's plenty of things that are really cool and happening with that. I plan on just finishing at this point. I had thought about dropping out, but then I was like, oh, you know what? No, I don't need to. Things can go well, and a million different things can happen, and I want to see it. But on top of that, we also have, in my program, we have a lot of stuff about things that people have complained about. So, for example, in my program, I already talked about the the language diversity class. We also have had people talk about using AI as English education. And to me, that made me worried that they were going to try to eliminate the ELA position, which is fine for me because I don't plan on actually working in it. But it makes me wonder how well students are going to do. And by pushing these high-stakes things and telling teachers, you need to push AI, you need to push this tech, when it's experts in the field who've never worked in a classroom or have been so far removed from being a student that they don't understand how things actually work, you get people who are going to go in, get their teaching credential, and then quit after a year. And yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens with that, because I think that the teacher shortage is going to continue, but it's not going to be a shortage of credentialed teachers. It's going to be a continual shortage of people willing to teach, and people are going to see all of the bad pay, all of the bad videos, all of the bad nonsense, and a bunch of people have problems with behavior of students. It's all of those problems are going to combine to exacerbate all of this, and I think within the next 5 years, teacher education programs are going to collapse, and yes, we'll still have enough credentialed teachers for 15 to 20 years, but we'll get to the point where in some states, but we'll get to the point in other states, we already have in some small areas, where we will get to the point where we will have nobody willing to teach, and we'll have to have kids being learned from AI. And I honestly feel like that's part of the plan with the Republicans wanting to dismantle education, and it feels like that's what my school's trying to do, because they are pushing the use of generative AI into the classroom. Now, there's AI tools that I think are great for use of the classroom. Auto captions, AI, totally fine with use of that. Video editing, not really great, but like to give you an idea of where the problems are and like automatically flag it, sure. There's another one that's interesting that I don't dislike, and it's spell check is now AI, and I don't really understand it, how it can be AI, but apparently it is. That's something we can use. But we also need to make sure students can read and write before they get introduced to technology, and unfortunately my program is pushing EdTech, and that's horrible, because if you actually look at the trends in actual education right now, they are pushing away from technology, and that's great, because we have too many people who rely on technology and actually don't know anything. And it's a major, major problem.